guys, welcome. My name is Stephen Crane. I will be showing off my progress for this past week on my UDK map, Ruins. So let's get into it. So this week's focus was primarily on the path nodes, which let me turn off their intersections, or their actual pathing, as well as player spawns and Kismet. Just some basic Kismet features like light switches and interactables. So let me go around and kind of show you guys the player spawns. So I've got 3 in each of the bases, both red and blue base. So 2 of them are on the upper floor, as you can see. Oh, got an autosave. Alright, as you can see, one's down at this end, another's down at this end, and then one is on the first floor, kind of in the middle here. If you go over to the red base, give me a moment. And so if you go over to the red base, they're in the same kind of positions. One at this end, one down here, and one beneath. Then once you get out of the bases, I have one in this ruin, as well as one in the pyramid in front of a teleporter, and then one over here by the shrine. There are also 3 more on the other side of the map, in the same general locations. Let's go over here. So, got one in this ruined building, one in this pyramid in front of the teleporter, and then one over here in the kind of like crumbled building, tree, vegetation area. Further, I also have a couple in the middle. I've got 2 in the bottom middle area, one here, and one right over here. Then if you go up a level, I have 3 in this room. Let's see, one's right here along this wall, another over here by this wall, and one right here by kind of this little exit to go up to the next floor. I did not put a 4th one in here because it would have been right behind the rubble, which means that they would have had more cover than the other spawns, and I didn't want to give one spawn automatic advantage over the others, giving that person just an extra advantage for having a little extra luck in placement. So I eliminated that spawn location just to make it a little bit more fair across the board. Oops. If we go up 1 level, not 2, there are 4 more spawns in this upper room. There's one here in this lit area, there's one here in this kind of little cornered room, and then 2 more on the opposite sides of the room. Totaling in 21 spawn locations for this map. Next thing was Kismet, so let's start with the lights. So in the pyramids, there is a trigger. Here, let me pull up Kismet so I can visually show you this a little bit better. So when you step into the trigger, what it does is on touch. So once you touch the trigger, or within the bounds of the trigger, it turns on the light. It's not involving any matinee or anything. It's simply, if you're touching it, it turns it on. When you leave the area or untouch it, it turns it off. It's a simple toggle system. Sets the light from a 0 to an intensity. That way the light is on versus off. And there is one in each of the pyramids, as you can see here. So let's actually go over here and I'll show you that it is the same exact thing over here as it was over there. No, it's player spawn. So once again, same trigger over here, same system. And that is one of the 3 unique Kismets that I involved in this map. The other, or another, unique Kismet that I involved was another touch trigger. It is on this column, So that way when the player reaches this trigger, which you can only do by jumping up onto it, it gives the feel of kind of putting weight past a certain focal point. And let me find the matinee so I can pull it up here. And then it causes the wall and the column to collapse. So all it is it's a one-time use. Once you touch it, it plays it, and then it's done. For the rest of the map, it stays fallen over. There's no way to undo it or redo it. It just is a one-time use. So let me pull up the matinee and kind of show you what happens. So what happens here is the weight applied kind of starts to knock over the wall. The wall being knocked over kind of forces the column up a bit so that the wall can get out from under it. And then since the wall is holding the support, or acting as a support to the column, when the wall starts to fall, the column falls with it. So let's play that again, just so you can see it. And there you go. And then the third unique matinee I incorporated into the bases. So what happens in this is, instead of just being a touch trigger, so when you touch it, it activates, or when you untouch it, it activates. What this is it's an unused trigger, so what you have to do is you have to enter the trigger field, this area, and then use a key. In this case, it is E. So when you enter this area, you press E, and in turn that activates it, versus just stepping into it like our previous ones. So when you walk in and activate it, it plays matinee. What happens in the matinee is it rotates this lever right here. Once the lever has been rotated, it moves this wall up into the ceiling, and then it rotates it to hide some of the geometry. That way it doesn't look awkward from any other angle. So let's play it. Lever rotates, wall ascends. And then I place this in 2 locations in each of the bases. So there's a door where you just saw, and a door right here. Let's close this one out. I'll show you that one as well. It's just the same thing, lever and door. And by doing that, it kind of opens up this path, which you can jump to from here. It's a difficult jump, but it's manageable. And so then you can kind of use this, you can use this cover as kind of like platformers to jump above, and then instead of just making it an alternative route, I put in these jump pads that kind of ascend you to different locations. So they're a little bit more useful than just an odd one-off, okay, I can jump on the cover instead of walking under it. So it has a little bit more usefulness now than it did before. So that is all of the Kismets that I incorporated. So let me now go over the path nodes. So the path nodes are these little apples that you see everywhere. Let me press P to turn back on all their connections. So as you can see, all of these apples are interconnected to nearest ones. In UDK, when you place too many path nodes within a close proximity of one another, it will tell you when you construct the paths what ones it feels are necessary or unnecessary. Currently I have about 8 path nodes that it feels are unnecessary but actually are. Reason being is these path nodes here, I have placed several along the edge so that the AI can choose to jump down to path nodes below it, because it needs line of sight to travel to another path node. So if I was just to leave one here in the middle, it wouldn't be able to go down to another path node because it wouldn't have a clear line of sight to it. So I have to put these along the edge. The problem that I'm having, or the reason why I need one path nodes that it feels are unnecessary, are these center ones. So by putting these center ones so close to the ones that are by the edge, it sees that 2 path nodes are really close together and it's not needed. However, if you remove these path nodes on the inner edge, then the AI will go to these ones on the outer edge. The issue being is that these ones on the outer edge, so that they can see the path nodes below them, hang out over the edge. So it just results in the AI walking up to a path node and falling off the edge instead of taking the stairs to ascend upwards. So even though UDK tells that you don't need path nodes. Sometimes you do indeed need those path nodes. In this case, it is the ones along these stairs. But that is it for the focus of this week. Let me now jump into the game and actually show you a bit of what I've been talking about, so it's not just me talking. So I teleport in here, retrap, and the trigger turns on the light. I leave, and it turns off the light. Step back in, it turns back on. Step out, it turns back off. To it, and it knocks over the wall. I can always go to the base, open up those doors, and then use those pieces of cover to platform my way across to a jump pad. That is it for this week's focus, but before I head out, I will show you, since I've incorporated the player spawns, what actually happens when you add bots to it. So let's add just 11 here. Too crazy. so that is my map. Next week I will be working on the landscaping to kind of create the boundaries of the level so that players can no longer kind of just walk off the edge there, as well as working on some volumes for the level. So thanks again for watching. That has been it for this week.